Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Silver Lining. I'm your host, Miss South Florida Fair 2020, Juliet Vi, and today I'm here with a beautiful guest. Please welcome Miss Kentucky 2019, Alex Francke. Hi, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. This girl took time out of her very busy schedule to talk to me, so I'm so excited. And I have lots of questions for you if you're ready.
Yes, let's go.
So my first question for you is when and how you first got involved with the Miss America organization, and what do you believe you learned along the way that led you to your Miss Kentucky win?
So I got involved because I grew up in theater, similarly to you. I love acting. I love performing. I went to a performing arts school my whole life, and I had always loved being on stage, but I also loved being involved in the community. And I didn't know about Miss Kentucky or Miss America when I was younger, but I heard about it when I was in high school. And I thought, man, this is a really cool program. What an awesome way to serve the community and earn scholarship money. Like, sign me up. This sounds fun. So I just randomly showed up and thought it would be something that was beneficial to me, even just to participate at a local level, to give me more confidence and speaking skills. And after doing my first local, I just loved it because I was combining so many things that I was interested in. So lo and behold, it led me to becoming Miss Kentucky's Outstanding Teen. Then I became Miss Kentucky last June, I guess, which is crazy to say. And it's been like such a dream ever since.
I love that. And I also was watching the past Miss America, or maybe it was 2 years ago, but I kept seeing that so many girls were in theater, like musical theater majors or stuff like that. There's a lot of, artistic young women that want to do this pageant because of the talent portion. And I love
Mhm.
hearing that you're also a theater kid too, because theater kids are the craziest, but we're the best. So
Oh,
something
we are the best.
hope for sure. So that's so awesome though. So my next question for you is how many titles did you serve under the Miss America organization? I also know that you're a twice state title holder, both teen and miss, which is so cool. And how do you think those years of service impacted you as a person, and how do you think that you helped serve your community?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the local title holder system because I think even having an opportunity to have that elevated recognition in your community gives you the ability to make such an impact beyond what you would be able to do as just a regular person. So I did get to serve as Miss Kentucky's Outstanding Teen in 2014. And then I went to college and I said, I'm going to take a break for a couple years. I'm going to retire from pageantry. And then it was not a year later that I started competing at Miss Kentucky. So I got to be Miss University of Kentucky, Miss Lexington, and then I got to be Miss Central Kentucky the year that I won. And I think that those years being a local title holder gave me so many of the skills that I needed to do the job of Miss Kentucky. And I just think it's so incredible how God puts experiences in our life that will ultimately prepare us for something that we don't even know is coming. And I can look back and see how those years have shaped me into the person I am today.
Definitely. I mean, I love that you say that, having that elevated local recognition is so important. And you also address the fact that your years as a local title holder prepared you to take on your biggest year of service yet as Miss Kentucky. So without that foundation, navigating how to represent your state probably would have been that much harder because it
Right.
already is a tough job with a lot of responsibility.
Right. But I did learn so much from the years just competing at Miss Kentucky, watching other girls serve in the role, hearing their experiences and their stories. I think that there's a lot to be said for that.
Definitely. And I'm actually excited because this June 2021 will be my first year competing at the Miss State pageant. So I'm
Woo!
excited because I've heard it's like an incredible learning experience. I've done twice teen at the state level, but I would love to learn about the Miss pageant. So I'm excited.
That's so exciting. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you
Yay.
so much. So my next question is, you are a recent graduate of the University of Kentucky Gatton College of Business and Economics, where you majored in business management and minored in international business. Very, very fancy. What made you
No.
choose this career path, and what do you hope to do with all you've learned in the future?
Sure. Well, entrepreneurship and business just runs in my blood, I think, because I come from a long line of female business owners and female business leaders. And so I'll be a fourth generation businesswoman, and small to medium sized businesses have really been what kept our family like alive. My grandparents owned businesses on both sides. My parents have worked really, really hard owning their small business. And from a young age, I got to see like the incredible not only impact that small businesses have on our communities, but the skills I can learn from getting a business education. So when I first went to college, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. Heck, I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I did know that I wanted to pursue something in the business world because I do have a love for combining my passion for people and serving communities and my love for commerce. Like, I think there's a really cool opportunity to do both.
And you said 4 generations of businesswomen in your family?
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
incredible. So you have some power
So,
females in your family for sure.
well, I'm honored, but it's been really wonderful. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to make sure as Miss Kentucky, I was really focused on women's empowerment because I came from a home where it was very clear that like women could do anything, women were strong, women were capable of so much. But I know a lot of girls don't come from homes where that's as pressed or they don't have that support system that
Right.
maybe encourages them as much. So I really wanted to make sure that I was connecting with young girls, especially like middle school and high school, and helping them to understand that they can truly accomplish anything.
And what better person to represent that than a Miss America title holder? I think that's what it's all about. So I love that you said that, and it's very inspiring to any young girl who wants to achieve more and maybe who doesn't have a family like yours that's so open about, women can achieve anything. Now they have a state title holder representing that for them, which is amazing. So my next question is about your talent. You mentioned it before that you are a theater kid. I love that because having Miss Kentucky be a theater kid is so validating because everyone thinks theater kids are weird, and we are, but Alex thinks it's cool. So I want to know when you got started singing and what piece did you perform at Miss Kentucky and Miss America?
So I've been singing since I was a little kid, like in church and whatever. Like my grandma would always push me to get up and sing in front of people, even though
Girl, I feel that so hard.
I hated it, but she was always like, no, you got to go perform. You got to do this. And I got the opportunity to go to a performing arts school. So it was a public school, but it was a magnet school. And I went 4th through 12th grade. I was a vocal major. And then once I got into the musical side, I really started to see my love for theater as well. So I ended up changing my major to theater when I was in high school, but I had that classical vocal background, which I felt like gave me a lot of the foundations. But I used to have absolutely no confidence in my singing abilities. I mean, my school was wonderful, but it was very cutthroat. It was very intimidating at times to be surrounded by people who were all so good at what they do.
Right.
And so for many years, I really struggled with my confidence in performing in front of people. And one of the reasons I really pushed myself to do Miss America organization is because for the first time, I would be performing on stage as myself, not as a character that I can kind of like hide behind and channel, not as like another person I'm portraying, but I was literally just me. And I had to put myself out there, which can be really scary and vulnerable. But I knew it was a really important skill, regardless of if I wanted to be on Broadway or if I wanted to be in a boardroom. I really needed that skill. So I made sure that I really pushed myself to do songs that made me feel like alive, that I got to act out, not just songs that I could like sing very well and sing pretty, but songs that I could really put my heart into. So I've always done musical theater pieces, but this past year at Miss Kentucky, the year that I won, I really wanted to push myself to do a challenging piece that really relied on the character. So I did Maybe This Time from Cabaret.
I love that.
Loved it. And I really felt like Sally Bowles is such a complex character, and to portray her in 90 seconds is insane. So I loved getting to work on my piece. I did the same piece at Miss America, and it was such a wonderful experience. I wish I could go back and just like perform on the Miss America stage every weekend.
I love that song. I'm obsessed with Cabaret, so I love that for you. And
I love it.
I never even thought about this, but you made such an excellent point that when you're playing a character in theater, you can hide behind that character, you're in a costume, but when you're performing on the pageant stage, you're representing yourself. So it's a lot more of a tough position to be in. I mean, depending on who you ask, but for me, I completely agree with you. When you're up there and you're like in your big dress and you're representing, in your case, your state, it's tough, but I think programs like the Miss America organization that force you to put yourself out there and force you to practice your talent and, give it all you've got are great ways of exposing your talent and making you grow into a more confident person. Because putting myself out there on that stage has helped me not only in performing, but public speaking and all sorts of things, because part of being a title holder is being able to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
always tell people, even if you never in a million years saw yourself doing a pageant, it really would behoove you to step outside of your comfort zone, even try a local competition. First off, it gives you so much respect for people who are in the entertainment industry and do things like that every single day. But second, it gives you skills that otherwise you may not push yourself to learn. Like you said, public speaking and presenting yourself and poise. So I'm a big proponent of even just winging it and trying a local.
definitely. I mean, I did not think that I would win my Miss Local, and then I did, and I was so happy. And, it's been the most amazing year ever, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to compete. So I think that even just getting the opportunity to compete at state is an honor, but winning it is the dream. So you're living the dream right now.
Thank you.
So now I want to ask about your crowning moment. I want to know how you felt when you were crowned Miss Kentucky 2019, and how did you feel knowing that you had the chance, the very unique chance, to represent your state?
Well, it was kind of a surreal moment. I joke and I tell people that I don't remember a thing about it, but I barely remember a thing about it because it's just such a rush of emotions and adrenaline. But I just remember being so grateful. And I don't remember like my walk or like waving to everybody afterwards, but I do remember my family coming up on stage to do pictures with me and see me. And I remember getting to see my grandparents and my boyfriend and like all the people who had really just poured into me over the years, like to just hug them in that moment. And it was just so, so sweet. But the first couple of crowning moments, like I don't remember at all. Just crying, waving.
No, that gives me chills though, like getting to see your family and their pride, and like you said, how much they pour into you. And that is such, I've had a lot of girls say, how impactful their family's been or their moms have been, or how, important family is in getting you to where you are and being able to share that moment with them. That must be the best feeling on earth. And also, you were wearing a red dress when you were crowned, correct?
Yes.
So pretty. I loved your crowning photos. I thought you looked beautiful.
Oh, thank you. That is so sweet.
You look like a real life princess. And I was like, oh my gosh, you look so happy. It was just, I love seeing crowning moments like that when the girl is like so freaked out but so happy. It's like, I felt the joy.
So fun fact, that's the only evening gown that I own. I only ever competed in one evening gown all of the years, locals, 3 state competitions, and I competed at National Sweetheart. And I literally wore the same gown every time. So I am a testament to the fact that you do not have to spend a gazillion dollars to do really well. You can find that one gown that you feel so confident in, so beautiful in. It might be a little more of an investment, but if you're wearing it, I probably have worn that dress 15 times and it's never let me down. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And I mean, I think that's a great piece of advice. Find your dress, find what works for you, and stick with it, because I wouldn't have even known that had you not told me. Most people aren't going to be like, she wore that at Miss Central Kentucky. Like, no one's going to say that. And if they do, block them. No, just kidding. It's not very nice. But, like, get out. Your dress was gorgeous. And I think a lot of people worry, like, oh, am I going to have to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a pageant dress? I heard Miss America 2013 Mallory Higgins say one time, I know some girls that would spend more on their wedding dress or more on their pageant dress than their wedding dress. And I think that's a big, stigma that surrounds pageants. But you found a dress that works for you and you used it and it never failed you.
Exactly. And I did the same when I was a teen as well. I legitimately wore the same dress every single time.
And your dress was gorgeous. So I definitely recommend that piece of advice. If you find a dress that works for you,
don't
keep wearing it. Or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The words of Alex Francke.
True, like a true literary genius. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So poignant. So my next question is, tell me about Miss America. What was that experience like? What was the week like competing on that stage? I want to know everything about it.
Well, Miss America certainly didn't look the way that any of us thought it would.
Right.
So going into it, I think it was really helpful that we didn't really know what to expect, because some of us, we'd seen Miss America before, we had attended Miss America, but we actually weren't sure what it would look like in a new location, at a new venue, just all of those unknowns. But I was so thankful that I had my Miss America sisters there with me the whole time. I think if it had been just me and I didn't know anyone, I would have had a colossal meltdown. But those girls like legitimately got me through everything related to Miss America, but also get me through everything relating to my life. Like I call Michaela McLean or Megan Cruz, Hannah, Mary Margaret, Miss Mississippi. Like I call those girls probably once a week. And
Mary Margaret, I met her over one Zoom call and she was like the warmest person. I was just like, all of you guys have been so nice. And Michaela, that's my homegirl because she's from the state. I love her. So that's so nice to hear though that you guys actually keep in touch. Like it's so cool.
So actually one of my best friends was Miss Louisiana and she just moved up here to Kentucky. So now we're neighbors and we have the best time. We were also teens together. Michaela and I were teens together. And then Mary Margaret was my roommate at orientation. So you just form these bonds with people that are just truly unbreakable because very few people can understand this experience that you're going through, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, emotions are high, tensions are high, but because we got the opportunity to spend so much time together beforehand, with it being in December and not September, we knew each other well. Like we were there.
You guys had much less time to prepare this year. And at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, which was a whole different location because the only two ones were like Atlantic City or Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas. So you guys were all new. And then before that, we had the shock of Miss America 2.0. But this was like Miss America 2.0 again, like revised. Like it was very different. And I heard that from every girl. While it's the Miss America experience and no one can take that away from you, it was hard adjusting to the Miss America that we all know and love. And I'm not going to say that whether the change was necessary or not, because you know I always will love this organization. I've never had the chance to compete for Miss America. That's the dream. But I know that your sisters got you through that time, and without each other it would have been that much harder, because even without the changes, competing on a national stage in front of millions of people is probably it's way hard enough on its own. And then you throw in all the new adjustments. It must have been like a whirlwind for you guys.
It absolutely was. But I mean, I was so thankful that going into it, even from day one, there were girls that I knew that were former outstanding teens and girls that I knew that were former sweethearts. And going and knowing, like, as soon as you walk into the room, there are at least 5 faces that you recognize and can go talk to. Oh my gosh, it was such a relief for me because I need people there to help me process through things. And I'm so serious. If I had not had them there, I think I would have lost my mind and been like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I've got to go home, because it's a lot.
No, it is. And, you know, I'm so happy that I'm getting to interview your whole class, because I know the girls who you're talking about, and all of you have been such class acts. It's just a reminder why we do this pageant, because meeting girls like you who are so kind, like I reached out to you, you couldn't have been more nice about it. That's the type of girls that are representing this organization. That's what we aspire to be like. And, you know, actually Miss New York, Lauren Malella told me, or no, I think it was Jay Glad, Miss New Jersey, that told me this, and Lauren Malella echoed it because they were friends. Everyone thinks that girls are mean to each other in pageants, but that could not be farther from the truth. They were my support system, and we all knew that there was only going to be one girl crowned. So whoever that was, we all were just going to support each other, because the reality is most of us are going back home to serve our states, which is kind of like a win-win anyway, because, you know, it's just, you still get to be Miss Kentucky, for crying out loud. That's pretty awesome. But having each other, leaning on each other, was the best part of that week, even better than being on the Miss America stage. And although it sounds cliche, every girl meant it. Every single girl, when I have asked them this question, has said that, same as you. Having those girls there, those friendships, those relationships that are still continuing, is something that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life.
Yes. I mean, I truly believe that there's not a girl in the class that I couldn't pick up the phone and call and be like, hey, I need you, or hey, I'm in the area, do you want to get together? I mean, we are just bonded together as a class, and I think that's really, really special.
That is so special and so nice that you have true relationships like that. It's like its own sorority, which is so nice.
It really is. It really is.
So this is a long question because Alex is very accomplished, so excuse me for having to read it. She says no, but like, just hold up, sis. I'm going to read a whole scroll, okay? I read from your biography on the Miss Kentucky website that you were, quote, honored and proud to be selected as a finalist for the Miss America Foundation's Additional Scholarship Award interviews. Whew. I also read that at the conclusion of the interview process, you were selected as the Miss America 2020 Woman in Business Award recipient, the first Miss Kentucky ever to do so. So you guys heard that she's like from like all these generations of businesswomen, but that is amazing. The first Miss Kentucky to ever get that award. So what a big honor. But not only that, what a big honor to get that national recognition for being a businesswoman at such a young age. How did you feel when you won that? And what do you believe that you did to earn such a prestigious award?
Well, it was super validating to not only win the award, but just to be selected as a finalist. Because when I looked around at the other girls, Caitlin Cox, Jacqueline Thomas, Grace Zimmerman, Nikki Holbrook, I mean, those girls are next level. So just to stand next to them, I was like, I cannot believe that I am really standing among them. And then the competition was, I don't know if you got to see it, but we were interviewed by a panel of people from the business world that asked us all kinds of questions relating to everything from ethics to corporate concepts to—
You had to know your stuff.
Yeah, literally, you have to know your stuff. And so when I was honored by receiving that award, it gave me so much validation that I really can succeed in the corporate world and that I do have a calling for business. But I don't think there's anything I did to earn it. Like, that is truly by God's grace alone that I was given that award and that recognition. I truly, like any of those girls, deserved the award just as much. So I'm just thankful that I got the additional scholarship and the recognition because, you know, I was getting ready to go back into the workforce, not now because I'm Miss Kentucky again, but I was getting ready to go into the workforce and I was like, is this really what I'm called to do? Is this really what I should be doing? And I just kept thinking back to the fact that the Lord selected me to represent women in business for the Miss America class of 2020. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a very religious person myself, and I do believe God puts things in our path. You know, he rewards us with certain things. But that's not just by God's grace alone, girl. You worked for that award. And if you won't brag about yourself, I will. So,
oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
but I seriously think that's amazing. And now I'm sad because I only have 2 more questions, but this is a very important question. So I'd like you to tell me about your social impact initiative.
Sure. Well, as you know, I'm an arts kid and I've been an arts kid since I was young, but yeah, it's the best. But there are so many kids across my state and especially even in my community of Lexington that don't have the opportunity to pursue the arts in the same way that I did, either because of their family situation, their socioeconomic status, the area where they live, whatever it is, even the school that they go to. And we have quite a disparity when it comes to arts education in my community, but especially in my state and our entire country. But, you know, we'll get to that. So when I was in high school, I started Adopt an Art, which is a 501c3, as a way to connect schools to arts mentors and resources to make sure that every child, every student has the opportunity to pursue an arts education. And something that I always try to touch on is it doesn't matter if you want to be a professional tuba player or a ballerina in the American Ballet Theater, or you want to be an accountant. Every single person can benefit from arts education because of the way it stimulates your brain, right, the way it grows your thinking skills, your problem-solving abilities. I think that creativity is something that you can only learn through experience. You can't really get it in a textbook. So I want to make sure that I can expose students to as many opportunities for that as they can. Because who knows, maybe I'll introduce a child to an instrument or painting and they discover that this is what they want to do for the rest of their life. They get a scholarship to go to school for it. But if no one had taken the opportunity to tell them how capable they were when they were young, maybe they wouldn't have ever pursued that. So Adopt an Art is a huge passion of mine. I'm so thankful that 7 years later, we're still running and operating. Things are a little different because of COVID, but over the past year as Miss Kentucky, one of the things I've been able to do is partner with our Children's Miracle Network hospitals to provide in-hospital lessons for the kids because a lot of those students don't get to go to traditional school.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we got to go in and teach art classes and we were gonna work on some music classes and then COVID hit and everyone can't go to the hospital. But we had all kinds of programming designed for these students that they could do either from their beds or tethered to an IV. We wanted to make sure that they felt capable even in their circumstances.
I think that's incredible how you're adapting your platform to fit everybody, particularly those in need who don't have the same access to the arts as, the rest of us would. And what you said, I think is so poignant. Whether you want to be a dancer or a painter or a lawyer, it doesn't matter if you want to be something involved in the arts or not. Arts education is something that will make you a well-rounded individual. And, I was lucky enough to have that exposure to choir. In my elementary school, I went to a Catholic elementary school, and same as your grandmother, my grandma was like, get up there and sing as an altar server and let me take out my camera. So I have that outlet, to do so, but it hurts me to think that some kids might not even have that outlet, and they might not even discover their artistic abilities. Because if I hadn't been pushed, I probably wouldn't have discovered that I like to sing and had, some capability of getting into a conservatory program. And same as you might not have known your abilities, your potential to go to a performing arts high school and really excel in classical voice and in musical theater. So, I want, every child to have that exposure so that they may discover their talents, or if they don't have an artistic talent, to appreciate the arts, because they do matter. And I think they matter just as much as every other subject. A lot of people find that to be a somewhat controversial statement, but so many relevant themes in today's society, so many things that we witness or watch or hear are from the classical art world. The foundations of music that we listen to on the radio are based in classical music, believe it or not. Art is a part of history. It means something. So I appreciate your platform a lot because it advocates for artists like myself, but you're also encouraging children to learn more about the arts.
Absolutely. And I thought a lot about it. I mean, even look at the effect of COVID on the arts world.
Exactly.
One of the first things we noticed is that, our TV shows aren't going to come out anymore. Movies aren't going to come out anymore. So that's some of like the initial shock. But then we needed musicians and songwriters and writers to help us express and cope with and process through everything that took place over the quarantine period and is continuing to take place. We look to artists and media and creators to help us understand the racial inequality that's in our world right now. We look to them to understand the effect of COVID on our mental health, and the artists are the ones that give us the tools to understand that. So I'll hop off my soapbox about art, but it's contributing to our societies in ways far beyond what you could ever imagine.
Agreed. And I will hop off my soapbox too, but very briefly say that I couldn't agree more, and that the arts are much more impactful in our everyday lives than we give it credit for.
Yes.
So my very last question, you've been so wonderful, is all about the silver lining. That's the name of my show. And I can see that you're a very positive person, and I'm wondering, what do you believe your silver lining is through your involvement with the MAO? In short, what was the best part of this whole journey to you?
Well, I touched on it a little bit before, but when I was consistently asked after Miss America, oh my gosh, how was it? What was it like? What was your experience? The first thing that came to mind was my friends that I made through it. I mean, they are some of the most genuine, well-rounded, amazing powerhouse women that will like hype you up, but also call you out on your BS. And I am so thankful. I mean, they will. They're real and they are dedicated. And I think it's so important to surround yourself with people that you most want to be like. I think that we are the sum total of our acquaintances and our close friends. And so being involved in the Miss America organization, I feel like even by association has made me a better, more well-rounded person. It's made me more empathetic. It's made me more hardworking and driven. But it's given me friends that will far outlast any crown or any sash. I mean, like, the rhinestones may all fall out and tarnish, and the sash may fall apart to threads, but I know that at the end of the day, I'm always going to have friends that will have my back and that are going to be a part of some of my life's biggest moments.
I think that is so well said. And of course, some of the other title holders I've met, I've had the opportunity to meet all of you state title holders, which I think that if there's anything good that came out of this current situation and quarantine that we're in, is that I've found this platform to utilize and meet my friend in Kentucky now, because I don't know anyone else from Kentucky, although you guys seem great.
You come on down. We have a blast.
I'll be right there. # Alex Francke. That's just the best, Miss Kentucky. But you know, you guys, of course, motivate each other to be better. The local title holders and state title holders I've met, I look up to. You know, I'm not much younger than most of the girls I interview, including yourself, but it's a reminder of why I'm doing this pageant, why I'm involved in this competition, rather, you know, to become someone that can represent my state and can be kind and can be friends with all my sisters. And you know, so you guys are great role models, and I'm so appreciative that you came on my show today. So grateful I got to meet you, and I can't wait to see what you do with your second year as Miss Kentucky. So I, again, appreciate you so much. And guys, if you're not following Alex on social media, why not? Absolutely not allowed. Go follow her immediately. I'll make sure you do it. And I'll put all her stuff down below. And Alex, you are so wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. It was such a joy to be able to talk with you and share some similar ideas and sentiments. So I actually am going to head on out to the state fair. We've got the state fair going on, and then we're getting ready for the Kentucky Derby. So it's going to be a crazy day, but I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to sit down and talk with you today, because now I have another friend in Florida.
Exactly. And I'm actually going to the Kentucky Derby with Alex. No, I'm just kidding. I wish.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm actually going there right now. I'll see you at the state fair, Alex. I'll be there in like hour tops.
I'll be in the cattle ring.
Great. I miss South Florida Fair, so I've just dealt with cattle this like past winter, and it was excellent.
There we go.
I need a cattle milking competition or something, but that's a showdown for another day. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, okay.